Well, guess I'm a little bit late today. Hello, it is I, Shoggoth Unknown. It is the 31st of March, 2022. Local time, 1839. Content is no longer present. I actually forget what I disabled. I don't remember anymore. Alrighty, but we are back here. More Oblivion. Oh, what did I disable? It was, oh, I know what it was. I think the only thing I disabled was a water mod. It turned out I was running 2 and I only needed to be running 1. Because there was like 3 versions. There's HD and normal definition or whatever. And then there was also a Shivering Isles one. So even though I haven't touched Shivering Isles, that one's on. And then I was not supposed to be running both the HD and the ND. So anyway, we got it working. Well, hopefully. Yeah, we're back. And a little bit late. Local time 1840. Like an hour late. Granted, I could have started like 50 minutes ago. But I was on track to get home and eat and be ready at normal time, and I had a bit of an incident at the post office. So that's unfortunate. Okay, that's not bad. It's called Secco. I guess it's Prosecco, but it's non-alcoholic.
Thanks for coming. Since we had the hero of Kvatch available, I didn't think it made sense to try this on our own the first time.
Sure.
We're ready when you are. Just say the word and we'll follow you into that hell-spawned gate.
I do it by myself. Let's go.
All right. Give me a minute to talk to the men. Everyone's a bit jumpy right now.
All right, go for it, buddy. Whoa!
All right, boys, listen up. We've got to close that gate over there. Nobody likes the idea of going into that thing, but it's our job, and we're going to do it. If we don't, Bruma ends up a smoking pile of rubble, like what happened at Kvatch. And that's not going to happen here, not while I am captain of the guard.
Well, he's essential, so we know he can't die.
Go with me. The rest of you stay outside and kill anything that comes out of that gate. Let's show these bastards how we do things in Bruma. We'll have you right.
Yo, they just book it. Holy shit.
Look out.
All right, I don't want to listen to that speech again if we crash. All right, let's get in there.
So far, so good.
So what I wanted to do was actually,
Here comes another one.
oh no. What I wanted to do between sessions was actually spend some time trying to figure out mod conflicts or whatever. Shit. Thought there was a dude there.
Let's get this over with.
I was hoping to be able to diagnose issues. I was running it through like some tools, and there's like this concept of cleaning edits and everything. Shit. No, guys. Oh my god. Well, I was gonna heal them, but they're probably gonna get themselves killed, aren't they? There's this concept of like cleaning edits and everything, and I wanted to look into that. I did not get that done yesterday. I did not have time to do that yesterday. I did... Oh, I know the one thing I forgot to do. I can do that later, though. I did find out that there is a DLL file that the unofficial patch has added to the game. Yo, his health is really low. It seems like he keeps getting hurt for some reason. Weird. There's a DLL file that was added, and that's what makes it so I can't train to, like, cheese my, levels. So what I'm trying to say is that's what makes it to where I can't, go reduce my skill and then buy training to level up further. And from what I saw, I could just replace the real DLL with an empty text file and there will be nothing to load, so it'll just work. Fun story time, a DLL is a dynamically linked library. The equivalent to it on Linux is called an SO file, a shared object file. Basically, when you know, build some code out that kind of should be treated as a library, something's happening, whatever. The trap is making it weird to navigate. When you write some code that you want to be treated as a library and you don't necessarily want to pass on the source code for whatever reason, you build it into a shared object or DLL, and then you, as a programmer, you link your code against that library. So then all your code has to know about is, it has to know what the functions and everything look like. That is a very awkward view. And then it goes and asks that DLL, like, all right, I know I want something that looks like this. Give me what I need. So it's interesting to me that I could, you know, assuming that's correct, replace the DLL with an empty text file, and it doesn't freak the game out, it doesn't cause any crashes or whatever, so they seem to be handling any exceptions or errors. I find that interesting. What's going on, St. Nicholas Stew? I'm doing alright, I guess. Ooh, my bad, buddy. The other thing that I have not yet elaborated on was the aforementioned incident at the post office. And all that entails is that I never checked my mail. So I went to check my mail yesterday, and it turns out there was a thing in there from the 19th where they had attempted to deliver a package, and for some reason they couldn't. It wasn't a large package. Apparently they needed someone to sign for it, despite it going into a locked mailbox. So they left a note thing in there, and they said, yeah, we tried to bring it on the 19th and you weren't here. So I just found out about that yesterday, and I stopped by there, and I think I waited close to 20 minutes. Person went and they started looking around, and they asked, you know, might it have somebody else's name? I was like, no, it shouldn't. Eventually, someone else shows up, and, you know, like, they walk back and they're gone for like 10 minutes. And I'm sitting there like, man, I got food. I bought food. It's sitting in the car just getting cold. I thought this was going to be a couple minutes tops, you know. And they walk back out. I was getting ready to just be like, you know, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just like, I would rather leave and come back later or something. But the other person comes out and asks me a question about it. And he looks over and he finds it. It's literally sitting right by the window where I've been waiting the entire time. The other person missed it. It was, that was a fun incident. I don't necessarily have, you know, I'm not like mad about it. It's frustrating, but I'm not mad about it. Like, we all have things happen. We all have bad days or whatever. We all make mistakes. It's not that big of a deal, but it's, you know, it was unfortunate. By the time I got to the post office, then got out, then got home, it was more than an hour since I got my food. So I just got to sit in the car for quite a while. So yeah, that was fun. And then, as I said, you know, I got done eating. I could have been here. It would have been a little late, but a little late past my normal time. But then, by the time, you know, I got done eating all that, I thought, you know, I'm just gonna relax for a few minutes before I start. I hate having to. This is what was the problem with my last job, where, you know, I was streaming every day and I was, you know, having to do 10-hour days in the office. It was one of the problems I ran into there, was getting home and having to rush to get to the stream. Well, damn, that guy died. It's the named one? That sucks. Oh, it's not. He's not. Wait, he is or not? He's unconscious. Okay.
The captain's in charge.
Good. Oh, Sky UI is like the first thing I would do. There's no way that's not the first thing I'm doing. When I set up my mods for this game, I did it incrementally, and I just saved. Sometimes I would do a batch of mods. I'd do, you know, 3 or 4, 5, whatever at the same time, but I tried to make sure they were logical choices, you know, things that made sense to link together. And I would then save that configuration. I would test it, I would make sure it seemed to be working, and then I would save that configuration. Can you guys not be there? Where the fuck do you want me? Okay, you're pointing me to that guy. Why? That's a dumb quest marker. So yeah, I would know that it was at least working somewhat. You know, not getting a crash on launch or something. Dude, I hate this quest. I don't like it.
So far, so good. Look out!
So far, so good, so what? Oh my god, stop that. I would like to disable that. Really, I just need a mod that lets me one-shot everything. That's where the real fun's at. I have no idea what FNIS is. I forgot dual wielding was a thing. I can't imagine it's something I would have ever done, so that's probably why. I see new character animations.
So far, so good.
I never got super into that kind of thing. I know I had tried adding a bunch of mods one time on Morrowind on that last playthrough. And one of the like mod lists I looked into, I added stuff and it like changed the sounds and it gave new animations and stuff, and I kind of hated it. I kind of didn't like it. I was like, this isn't my Morrowind. Oh my god. What? Dude, fine. If you guys die, I'm console reviving you. I'm not gonna keep doing this. Twice in a row you run out of the way. A new does it already let you block while dual wielding then? I'm confused. I thought you were saying you needed it so that you could block while dual wielding.
Take me down.
Cool. I like that I could hear them getting hurt. I like that they ran into that trap. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought you were saying.
So far, so good.
That's what I thought you were saying, but then I guess the additional comment, like a new animation for blocking while dual wielding, that one confused me.
Damn you! So far, so good.
Because I thought you were saying
So far, so good.
a new animation replacing the existing one, that's why it confused me. Yeah, again, I don't even think I knew dual wielding was in the game. But again, that's not something I could ever see myself doing. Really?
Show me what you've got.
Run in front of me? Again? Why are they running in front of me? I hate fighting in groups on here. It's too hard to not hit your allies.
So far, so good. Stay sharp.
I don't know why I prefer one-handed generally on Elder Scrolls games. I prefer one-handed. Oh, that guy's gone. On Elder Scrolls games, I tend to prefer one-handed, or at least like these modern ones with the real-time combat and I mean, Morrowind had real-time combat, but you might know what I mean. I prefer one-handed weapons for some reason, but I never really use a shield. I only put this one on last time because I realized, hey, it does give me more defense, like, as well.
What's the matter? Getting tired.
Yeah,
Will you fall down and bleed to death?
I don't know how it would work on Skyrim, what your theoretical max would be, because you don't have classes or anything anymore. We're reviving that guy.
Will you fall down it?
But again, I don't know that much about the game because it's been so long. Prestige? Regrind back to 100. Yeah, I have one of these rings already. Cool. Regrind back to... it resets it? Because that sounds awful. That sounds like a console command waiting to happen. What's the point of doing that? You get more character levels, but... it's more health, fatigue, and... well, I guess it's stamina in that game, right? Health, stamina, and magicka. More perk points. Is there...
You did it, Captain.
hang on. Let's let them talk, because I have a question about that.
We didn't think we'd ever see you alive again. Believe me, it was no picnic. But thanks to our friend here, I now know we can close these hellgates. We can defend Bruma.
Is that it? You're not going to talk to me or anything? Yo.
It was an honor to serve with you, sir. Now that I've seen how it's done, I think my guardsmen and I can handle any new gates that open near Bruma.
No, you can't. Well, that was easy. Okay, cool. So the question I had was, I guess I'm confused about the perk point thing now, because maybe it's just been too long since I played it, but... hey, I'm glad I just saved. Maybe it's been too long since I played it, and it has been a very long time since I played it, but... if you've already maxed out the skill, why do you need... why would you reset it to then get more perk points? Like, you already maxed it out, so you already had all the perks, right? Okay, then yeah, it's... I must be not remembering something. Or I must be confused on the systems. Ew. Okay, you can max out a skill without having... that sounds terrible. To me, the purpose of maxing something out should be that you have everything. Okay, so yeah, that's one of those things that I don't like then. I'm actually... I really hate in games where you have a skill tree and they don't let you max it out. Because to me, the purpose of, like, hitting max level or whatever should mean that you've unlocked everything. You know, I understand the concept of, you know, you spend a lot of time grinding out levels or whatever to get to that point, but the fact is if you max out your character, you should have everything, in my opinion. You know, throw me some random battles up and I'll grind away at that for hours doing nothing but random battles just to get experience and level ups, you know. I love that. Because then I know I'm going to come out of that really strong and I'm going to feel accomplished. I'm going to be happy. Watch me get like level 15 chrono before leaving the fair at the beginning of the game. Because I'll do that shit.
What do you need, friend?
Good work. Captain Bird and his guardsmen should be able to handle any additional gates, at least for now. But the Bruma Guard cannot defend the city indefinitely. The Daedra of Oblivion are innumerable. The guardsmen of Bruma are not. We need to gather what allies we can before Bruma is hopelessly besieged. If the Mythic Dawn manages to open a great gate here, the city will need a stronger garrison for there to be any hope of defending it. You should speak to the rulers of the other cities of Cyrodiil, as well as the Elder Council. Ask them to send aid to Bruma before it is too late.
What else can I do to help?
Keep working on obtaining the items Martin needs for the ritual. Everything else is just buying time for us to get the Amulet of Kings back from Miscarcand.
Cool. What? I'm confused. Like, I know what's more important, but I don't... I kind of don't like that they're throwing two different things at me. So we're gonna follow the one I find less important, aid for Bruma.
Bruma cannot hold off the hordes of Oblivion alone. You should ask the rulers of the other cities of Cyrodiil to send help. You should speak to the rulers of Cyrodiil as soon as possible.
Alright. Yeah, I had to cut that volume way down. It's a shame because I like hearing the game, but it gets picked up by the mic. I'm shocked that NVIDIA Broadcast doesn't handle that. Things like Discord do. Discord does... I think the actual term is like reverse polarization. It's smart enough to know the signal that's coming out of your default audio source, like, you know, your speakers or whatever. It knows what your default source is, and it's able to use that to filter out any feedback, you know, from that source. So I'm surprised NVIDIA Broadcast doesn't do something like that as well, or let you pick a source to filter out. I know it potentially can hurt the quality, but that'd be nice. Filter out my speakers.
I wish I had time to chat, but I'm afraid I'm in the middle of an investigation.
Okay, sure, but we gotta ask about some other stuff too. Aid for Bruma.
While I understand Bruma's need, Coral's own defense must come first. I cannot spare any soldiers as long as Coral remains under threat from the Oblivion Gate outside our walls.
Okay.
Goodbye.
I can take care of that.
What do you want, Breton trash?
What? Why is that guy an asshole? Why are so many people in this game rude? Like, I think it's already rude when they'll say things like, when they'll call you by your race. I think it sounds rude. But he just straight up says trash on the end. He called me trash, and I didn't do anything to him. I walked by. Alright, this one should be pretty easy to take care of, because I don't got to deal with AIs. Well, I mean, I got to deal with AIs, but I don't got to deal with friendly AIs. Also, I made an edit to the lame mod to allow me to use Chameleon in spell making once more. Rise up. Look at this. Look at this cheese. Haha. You can't jump while you're on that. I don't know if you were paying attention, but if you heard me jumping, you heard the sounds of me jumping, I got no air, essentially. You'd think you could at least get some air. The rending halls. Let's go. I need more drink though. I ran out very quickly. I don't want to pull the same thing that I did on... Was it Tuesday? Was it Monday or Tuesday? Whichever one it was, where I finished my drink in 30 minutes and then I was like, man, I'm thirsty, and I waited another hour and a half to get another drink. I don't want to do that again. I'll go once I get a confirmation for Coral sending troops. Should be very soon. Also, I forgot about something. I should try this. I was reading something somewhere that said if you like mash the button when you're getting the sigil, you could get up to 3. I don't know if that's something that's been patched out. I hope not. Exploits are like my favorite thing. I have no idea if it worked or not. I'm a big fan of exploits. I don't really care for actual, like, damaging glitches. The, you know, can break the game, like, can break your game in a way that you didn't plan for. But you know what I say, let the player kind of do what they want. Yo, the sky looks nice. What the hell? What is this? I bet we lose it when we go in Coral. Of course we do, because we lose the game. Yo, it is really, yeah, there we go. It has really crashed. Well, we're gonna have a long load this time, so while it's loading, I'm gonna go get another drink. I gotta see, is this right before? Yeah, it's right in front of the gate. Good. So I know I'm not gonna get attacked. I'll be right back. Okay, let's go for it. Let's turn this quest in. It started raining. Cool.
You're off duty now.
Castle. Is there a reason we don't have a quest marker?
It's a pleasure to meet you. I am Countess Velga of Coral. I wish I had time to chat, but I'm afraid I'm in the middle of an investigation.
Aid for Bruma.
Your reputation precedes you, Hera of Kvatch. You have done my city a great service by closing the Oblivion Gate. I will now gladly send soldiers to aid in the defense of Bruma. Consider it done. Goodbye.
Now we have quest markers again, so we've updated something. We've updated it. It's weird, like a flag was not giving me a quest marker. Earlier it gave me a quest marker directly to her. Why is Kvatch showing up? What's going on with Kvatch? Let's just go out front of Anvil and see if there's a gate. Because if there is, I'm going to close it. Because it might be a repeat of what we just saw at Coral. Well, there's something. Seems a little far. But I'm gonna go for it anyway. Oh, again, I have no idea if I actually got multiple sigil stones or not. I don't know, like, most of them feel kind of weak to me. Some of it's clearly good. Some of the effects I know are better than what I can enchant with a Grand Soul Gem, so I know they're not bad effects per se, but they just feel too low to be worth it to me. Yeah, like the chameleon one is only 30%, and to me that feels low. Because now I need 4 items to even get to 100% chameleon. That just doesn't feel worth it. Weak enchantments. I want my stuff to be like busted, broken, OP strong. That breaks the game. Here we are. The more my enchantment breaks the game, the happier I am. There is a mod I want to look into installing that lets you put more enchantments on things, which I think should be in the game anyway. I don't know why that was removed in this game. So that might be interesting if you could then put like multiple chameleons on one item or something, so you can make one really good chameleon item. That would be nice. That would kind of make the enchantments a little more balanced, I think. A little less weak. I know I'm always the one saying I don't like balance, but I don't know, a lot of the systems in the game feel too weak to me. Again, one of the problems with the spell making is that the best spells you could make with spell making were not as good as the ones you could buy, which to me means, what's the purpose of spell making? You could just buy better spells. You might be able to do something interesting by combining effects. That is the only use I could see for spell making at that point, is then combining effects in a way that you couldn't get from a vanilla spell, but they may, you know, be weaker than you would like. So that's it. That's why I got that mod that multiplies all the spell making limits by 10, because I'm like, spell making's weak. Can't have big gamer moments with weak spell making. And I've not really made any spells other than training ones and a good feather one, but you know. One thing I noticed, one thing I read, is it's interesting because the way things stack in this game can be quite odd. Because it can actually happen based on the name of a spell, as far as I saw. And I don't know if any mods have changed this, but the suggestion I read, wherever this was was that what you could do, instead of trying to make like a really high chameleon spell or something, is you could make multiple weaker ones that all have different names, which would then allow them to stack. And they would be easier to cast and maintain because they have less magicka requirements. I kind of poked into that a little bit, and it seemed like it would still not be super worth it to make a spell. But it was interesting to look into, and it was interesting to see that some of the ways stacking is done is literally based on the names. Right, so if I cast the same chameleon spell, it just simply updates and refreshes that spell. But if I cast a different one, could be the same magnitude and everything, but if I cast a different one, different name, it stacks. Programming on this game can be strange. Well, that was a good jump. I slammed the button again. I don't know if I get more than one. An expert of hand-to-hand can perform a backwards power attack. Okay, let's go. Why am I even doing that? I should just warp to the castle now. Why am I gonna walk through the city? That's way too long. I need some boots of blinding speed for this game. That would be nice. I can actually try something, though. Who do I talk to? You?
Isn't it? You sure gave those damn Daedra what for. It makes us all feel better to have someone like you around.
Aid.
I've heard that you've closed the Oblivion gate outside and
I knew it.
I honor you for your bravery and service to my city.
Her mouth looks freaky because of the hair and stuff behind.
Some of my best soldiers to bolster the Bruma garrison. You too.
I do like this effect, but it's a bit strong. I'm thought about disabling it. I'm not sure yet. So previously I closed 2 gates right outside of Leowen. I've closed gates outside of Skingrad, I think. I don't think I would... It's been very rare that I have seen a gate and not closed it. I had like 2 last time, then I was like, I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that. Also, have a good one. Thanks for stopping in and stuff. Hope things go well on your end. Lord's Manor. Where do I go? Skingrad's weird. Just gonna say it. Where do I meet? Where do I meet anybody? Do I have to go up to that Lord's Manor? Looks like it. But it's trespassing. This is dumb.
I think I'm sorry, we've not met. I'm Janice Hasseldor, Count Skingrad.
You're hard to find, dude.
Mehrunes Dagon has no more love for my kind than for my mortal subjects. Less perhaps as we make poor slaves. You have helped me by closing the Oblivion Gate near Skingrad. I will likewise help you by sending aid to Bruma.
Cool. Alright, I'll leave now. So, one thing I also read was that there are 60... There's actually like 100 Oblivion Gates, but a single playthrough will only have 60. We've closed about half of them, 27. That is something I would like to do on the playthrough, is close every single Oblivion Gate that spawns for my playthrough. Now, so the way that works is they're randomly chosen. Oh. I thought this was going to lead outside or something. I'll find my way outside eventually. The way it works is that there's 100 possible places, you know, gates can be, and the game randomly chooses 60 of those. Well, there's like 10 or so that are fixed locations, I believe. Some of them are probably these city ones. And that means if we've closed 27, was it? We've done about half of them. We haven't closed anything around Breville, so I'll probably need to head out there. So let's do Leowin next, because I've definitely closed one outside of Leowin. Yeah, what I think I'd like to do is, throughout the course of the playthrough, keep closing every gate that I can. Every gate that I run across, basically. And hopefully not have to grind, but I would like to actually close all 60 of them that show up on my playthrough.
Well met.
Which one?
Greetings, Marius Caro, by grace of the Nine, Count Leowin. You are a stranger to me, but well met. Perhaps you would like to do a service for County Leowin.
Maybe. But first...
Well, with the Oblivion Gate near Leowin closed, I suppose the immediate threat is lessened. I will do as you ask. Let no one say Leowin did not do its part to uphold the Empire.
Ooh, I like it.
Greetings to you.
And I'm gonna make it a point to basically just speed run every Oblivion Gate that I can, because I don't really like doing them, to be honest. It's too much combat. Look at something real quick. Beautiful. I had to make sure that my soundboard was being picked up correctly. Last night, although I did not work on my mods, trying to clean them up and maybe hopefully reduce crashes a bit, I did upgrade OBS to a newer version, and this was my first time upgrading OBS standalone, or portable. So basically just for posterity and something to blabber about. I don't know if posterity is the word, but just, you know, something to kind of talk about. Previously, I'd been using OBS as a normal installation. I actually installed it through the package manager called Chocolatey, and you know, that installs it at the OS level, basically, like a normal install. And after a while, I decided that I wanted to make a standalone, or a portable version that I could then carry around and back up more easily, and you know, it's easier to maintain over time. So last night was my first time upgrading the portable version, and I had a couple interesting things crop up, but I mean, so far things seem to be fine. But had a couple interesting things crop up during the process of upgrading that. Also, how is it going, Tusk? Yes, I mean, you were right the first time on the spelling. Sending me random Therion songs. I approve. I don't know if you saw, I still haven't listened to that one you sent me yesterday. Mainly because you sent it to me when I was working out, and I made the mistake of looking at the notification. But then by the time I was like done working out and at the computer and stuff, I kind of forgot. I don't know if you saw, but I responded to that with, I mentioned that Therion is one of the best shows I've ever seen. And I sent you a video which was the actual show that I saw them at back in 2011. And I mentioned that my favorite Therion song is Gunungagap, which is in that video. All the songs have timestamps in the description. Tu Megatherion, which is what you sent, is also in that video. I am in that video front center, but you won't recognize me. I look a lot different because I have hair. I mean, I guess I have hair right now because I was too lazy to shave. I have a barber appointment tomorrow. No, I was very bearded. That was at the point where I did not go to a barber or anything. I did not shave or anything for about 7 years. Not trimming, nothing.
Count Broville. I'm really rather busy, and I doubt that you have anything to say that I need to hear.
Aid for Bruma.
Thank you for closing the Oblivion gate that was threatening Broville. I will send my guard captain via
His ponytail looks like an esophagus or something. Oh, that's another ally for Bruma. I mean, the thing is, if you just let everything grow, it's no longer really a neckbeard, because you then have like a really long beard, and it's not the same, right? That's the trick to it. By just letting it grow wild for years and years, then it doesn't matter. Neckbeard really only matters if you don't have much of a beard. That's the only time it really looks bad. If you've got enough hair, then it's disguised, it's just part of the everything. Mine's not the best right now because this is short, but I still didn't care. I was like, I'm gonna be lazy.
I'm sorry. Although I wish to spend time speaking with you, I have much business to attend to. Please be brief.
But we need aid. I saved your kid, remember?
I will not forget your service to me and to Cheydinhal. Rescuing my son from the Oblivion Gate was a daring feat. With the Oblivion Gate closed, I can now gladly send aid to Bruma. My soldiers are brave and... Enough talk.
Greetings.
It is pleasant and a bit melancholy.
I mean, back when COVID first hit and all the barber shops and everything shut down, I went for quite a while. It's the longest I've gone in a very long time without shaving, without getting my head shaved. So it was like, I think the 14th of March or something, when the last time I went to the barber, and then everything shut down. And then the next time I went to the barber was just like 3 days before I started streaming on this channel in 2020. So it was like 6 months. It was 6.5 months. This guy I've been looking for.
Hey, you need something special?
We never found this guy before, but he's actually basically a fence.
In all Tamriel.
He's a fence that you can use if you're not in the Thieves Guild. So that guy's cool. I'm gonna just look around for an Oblivion gate out here. See if anything shows up. But yeah, I let my hair grow a bit in 2020. The problem is, you know, it doesn't really grow much up here, so it's not a good look in my opinion. But I would like to grow my hair back out, it just doesn't grow. At least on the top. You can always headbang. Yeah, I remember I started growing my hair out originally in, I think, 7th or 8th grade. So far, no gates. I find it weird that Kvatch is showing up for this quest. They do know that Kvatch was destroyed, right? Also, I keep looking over at my mixer, my audio mixer in OBS, and it's throwing me off because I rearranged all of my sources in a way that makes more sense. But I'm not used to it, so I keep thinking my mic's not showing up. Uh-oh. Why do you say that? Why? So far, nothing interesting has happened around the Imperial City. I mean, realistically, there's a lot of reasons. I mean, partially just genetics that happens to some people and doesn't happen to others. Some of it is how I, you know, how I cared for my hair. Like, I washed it and I conditioned it and stuff, but I probably didn't care for it as well as I should have, or as well as I could have. So that probably hurt things in the long run, unfortunately. I always had issues with it getting like tangled and weird and stuff, and I feel like I probably damaged my hair somewhat, which probably didn't help things. My toe, whoa. Well, no, I always had beard. I always had a really good beard, but there is a thing where typically people who go bald, they grow more hair elsewhere, and typically this is why you see a lot of bald people have good beards. That is a real thing, and there is a real connotation there.
citizens are welcome in the Imperial Palace.
From the Blades, did you say? Joffrey sent you? What's this about? Quickly now.
Aid for Bruma.
This is terrible news. Under normal circumstances, I would dispatch a legion or two to Bruma immediately. But the circumstances are not normal.
So dispatch 3 or 4.
I've been pleading for troops for Cyrodiil for weeks, but the generals assure me that the entire Imperial army is already fully committed. Besides, I'd have a full-scale political crisis on my hands if I tried to pull any troops out of the provinces. I'm sorry, but the cities of Cyrodiil will have to fend for themselves for the time being.
Elder Council.
Don't worry. The Elder Council can govern the Empire perfectly well until a new heir can be found. Truth be told, most of the Council has returned to the provinces to deal with urgent local matters, but we are in regular communication. But the Inner Council still holds regular meetings. We have the situation well in hand, I assure you.
Yeah, you go bald and you just start growing a shit ton of pubes. Fucking braid your pubes. Did it just thunder while we were inside the building? That was cool. So the only other place showing up is Kvatch, right? I don't think we have to ask Bruma's people to help Bruma. But why is Kvatch showing up? The Count here is dead, but it's pointing inside of the city. We have to check it out, I guess.
I just can't stop.
Lie down.
Thanks. Kvatch is safe. Go look for your... The Daedra came out of the gate. People who fought died.
I know what you're talking about.
Alright, let's check it out, I guess. Yeah. I actually make it a point every morning to braid my pubes. I put a fresh braid in every morning. It's one of the first things I do when I wake up. I got so good at it, I don't even need to put my contacts in. I can do it without looking. I'm still confused, curious. You know who we're talking to? We're going to look for Savlius Mattius, aren't we?
What is it, citizen?
Savlius Mattius is still sitting in here mourning the Count. We gotta ask him, hey, yo, stop mourning the Count, go help Bruma. Man, I've got a bit of a headache. It's unfortunate. Took some medicine a little while ago. Wait.
Well met.
Savlian Mattius.
I have few enough men to spare, but you have more than earned our help. I will send what aid I can. Bruma must not share the fate of our city.
I did see that message, Tusk. Yeah, I was in the office today, and I'm gonna be in the office tomorrow as well. Gotta love that hour commute. That's everyone. Now what? Go back to Cloud Ruler? It doesn't tell me where to go. So let's go to Cloud Ruler. Let's be like, yo dog, we got help. Well, see, before you were like mad about time passing, but now you should be happy about time passing because it gets you closer to more JoJo.
Hail.
the quicker time passes until then, the quicker you get your JoJo.
Good evening, sir.
Potion of Cure Disease. Hell yeah. Akaviri Katana is actually pretty good. I mean, at this point, it's not that good. But if you do the main quest early in the game, this is one of the best weapons you can get to start out. How long is this book? Okay, we're going to read this. The Amulet of Kings by Venengril's Monhana. In the first years of the First Era, a powerful race of elves called the Aelids, or the Heartland High Elves, ruled central Tamriel with an iron hand. The high and haughty Aelids relied on their patrons, the treacherous Daedra Lords, to provide armies of Daedra and dead spirits. With these fearless magical armies, the Aelids preyed without mercy upon the young races of men, slaughtering or enslaving them at their whim. On behalf of the suffering human races, Saint Alessia, the first in the line of Cyrodiils, sought the aid of Akatosh, the dragon god of time and ruler of the noble Aedra. Akatosh, looking with pity upon the plight of men, drew precious blood from his own heart and blessed Saint Alessia with this blood of dragons, and made a covenant that so long as Alessia's generations were true to the dragon blood, Akatosh would endeavor to seal tight the gates of Oblivion, and to deny the armies of Daedra and undead to their enemies, the Daedra-loving Aelids. In token of this covenant, Akatosh gave to Alessia and her descendants the Amulet of Kings and the eternal dragonfires of the Imperial City. Thus does Alessia become the first gem in the Cyrodiilic Amulet of Kings. The gem is the red diamond in the middle of the amulet. This is the symbol of the Empire and later taken as the symbol of the Septim line. It is surrounded by 8 other gems, one for each of the divines. So long as the Empire shall maintain its worship of Akatosh and his kin, and so long as Alessia's heirs shall bear the Amulet of Kings, Akatosh and his divine kin maintain a strong barrier between Tamriel and Oblivion, so that mortal man need never again fear the devastating summoned hosts of the Daedra Lords. But if the Empire should slacken in its dedication to the 9 divines, or if the blood of Alessia's heirs should fall, then shall the barriers between Tamriel and the Daedric realms fall, and Daedra worshippers might summon lesser Daedra and undead spirits to trouble the races of men. Genuine question. I don't actually know, but I'm curious because Alessia is represented by the gem in the middle, right? By the red diamond. And then we have 8 gems, one for each of the divines. Is Alessia a divine? I'm flubbing my lore. Akatosh, Kinnereth, Mara. Yeah, I have to look it up. Because there's something interesting that I think RK. Yeah. RK is the one I was thinking of, whose name I was mixing up with Alessia. That's it. Okay. Because I was like, it's Saint Alessia. Alessia is not a divine. Okay, so it's the 8 divines. That's good. I was curious about the lore, because you always hear about the 9 divines in lore, but that only started after Daggerfall. Through Arena and Daggerfall, it was really the 8 divines. And then after Daggerfall,
Yes. What do you need, friend?
the mantling can happen where Tiber Septim and the spirits can basically become Talos.
I wish there was another way.
Tiber Septim.
The armor is in the shrine of Tiber Septim, in the catacombs beneath the ruins of Sankator, a holy place once. But Sankator became evil long ago. No one has returned from the shrine of Tiber Septim for many lifetimes.
What evil lurks in Sankator?
I do not know. The catacombs of Sankator were sealed by the first Grand Master of the Blades. The 4 mightiest blades of Tiber Septim's day, Elaine, Valdemar, Relus, and Kaznar, went to Sankator and never returned.
I was gonna say, we're gonna fight them, aren't we?
Here,
Talk to them.
This is the key to Sankator's outer door. I fear I am sending you to your death, But we have no other choice. You must succeed.
Aid for Bruma?
You've done better than I had hoped. Bruma's garrison is now as strong as we can make it.
Armor of Tiber
An
Septim.
ancient relic of the first emperor who became the divine Talos, the patron of our order. After the Battle of Sankator, Tiber Septim gave his armor to the Blades in honor of our role in his victory. The Blades built a shrine in the catacombs of Sankator, on the spot where Tiber Septim received the blessing of Akatosh. The armor has been there ever since. Before evil came to Sankator, this shrine was a place of pilgrimage for all Blades. But no one has visited the shrine and lived to tell the tale in centuries.
Cool. All right, now I'm gonna address what you said to us. The only problem or the only thing there about, you know, calling them chapters or episodes or whatever, it's just definitions and consistency matters, right? So the thing is, if the manga itself defines what a chapter is, and a chapter is a bunch of episodes put together, then like the terminology's been defined by the creator and by the manga. So calling every single episode in Berserk a chapter is incorrect, because the manga defines what a chapter is. It says, you know, Holy Iron Chapter, you know, Part 1, Holy Iron Chapter Part 2, or whatever, you know, whatever they're called. I don't quite remember right now, but the manga defines what they are. So if that's called a chapter, then every single episode can't possibly be called a chapter. That's why there's differing terminology. There's arcs, chapters, and episodes. And like, yeah, for most manga, it would be the other. For most manga, yeah, you would call them chapters, and that's fine. But it's just, yeah, like he, Kentaro Miura, kind of defined what a chapter and an episode and everything is in the context of Berserk. So it's just, you know, definitions and things matter, and consistency matters. Yeah, Berserk has 364 episodes. And then there are some chapters which are made up of like 30, 40 episodes or whatever. And then there are arcs that are made up of, you know, multiple chapters as well. Because the Conviction arc is the Lost Children chapter, the Holy Iron Knights chapters, whatever they're called, and I think it's also the Tower of Conviction chapter. I think it's like 3 or 4 chapters make up the Conviction arc, but each chapter is then a bunch of episodes. That's how it's all determined. Because the arc thing is, I would say arcs are pretty common in Japanese media. Like the first place I ever heard about arcs was Dragon Ball Z. You know, like the Saiyan arc, the Namek arc, you know. Damn it. That's the first place I ever heard about them. I didn't realize Sonic Adventure 2 used terminology like that. Needs a key. I got a key. Let's fucking go! I should search them for the shrine. Or, yeah, of Tiber Septim. So, yeah, we're in the catacombs of Sankator. And I will search them in just a moment. I'll be right back. My arc is used a lot, man. I've seen it used a lot. But again, typically in like Japanese media, anime and stuff. Like typically longer form things, Japanese media likes to separate it into arcs. As far as I've seen. Is there a reason you're watching? Nice. Nice. Elven longsword. I got a longsword for you. Oh baby, a triple. Oh yeah. I hate gloom wraiths. I absolutely hate them. They're too strong. I mentioned earlier, and I kind of wasn't joking, I need a mod that makes me one-shot everything. I would enjoy the combat more. The wraiths? I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I don't think they look like it. Why? That's dumb. See, if I one-shot everything, he wouldn't have been able to knock me over. Ancient Akaviri Katana. Not bad. I can barely hear that guy. Who are you?
I was Realus, loyal blade of Emperor Tiber Septim. I do not know how long I have been dead. It feels like an eternity.
What happened to you?
My 3 companions and I were sent here by the Emperor Tiber Septim to discover what evil had defiled the holy catacombs of Sankotor. We did not know that the Underking, who was here in Arctis, had risen to take his first revenge upon his former...
That's a name. The Underkings are in Arctis. That's a name.
Defeated and ensnared us in his evil enchantment and bound us here to guard forever the defiled shrine of Tiber Septim.
Is the Underking still here?
No. He departed long ago. But his evil will remains, preventing any from paying homage at the shrine of Tiber Septim. Over the uncounted years of our slavery here, we have brutally brooded over our defeat. I believe that we can undo the Underking's evil.
He talks really slow and he's so quiet I can basically not hear him.
I go now to complete my duty to my lord, Tiber Septim. Free my brothers, and together we may be able to lift the Underking's curse. Farewell.
So the Underking is an extremely important character in the lore. They're in Arctis. I don't like saying this because it's kind of spoilers, but also I'm gonna just say it. There's like 2 Underkings. That's one of them. Both of them are extremely important, though. What? So I don't really want to say too much more about how important they are, but I guess at the moment I will say that it has to do with the whole mantling I was talking about earlier. Mantling being that whole thing about becoming a god and assuming the role of the god, Talos, in this case. Hall of Judgment. Can I just console kill all these? No? Maybe? Yes? There's so many. So many enemies. Frost damage effect resisted. It's dumb that a Wraith can stun me like that. At least, I mean, I think maybe a magical thing, but he's like hitting me. He's clawing at me. I'm gonna drink that even though it's not really great. It's fortify. Another undead blade. Ew. Smoky barbecue. I don't like that at all. Tusk ate a rice cake that tasted like smoky barbecue. I don't like barbecue, so, you know, that's a problem. There it is. I destroyed the second of the cursed blades guarding Secator. Freeing his spirit to help his companions lift the Underking's enchantment from the shrine of Tiber Septim. I should continue to search for the other 2. Sure. Well, what's the name? Mixolydian scale. It's a music reference for you. Mixolydian's cleaver. Mixolydian's cleavage. Yeah, I don't like barbecues, so that would be really disappointing to me. I think I had this discussion before. You might have been the one I was talking to. I really hate vinegar, and I really hate like sea salt and vinegar as a thing. This was 2 jobs ago now, so it's been a while, but he didn't do it intentionally to mess with me. But my coworker was like, I went to his desk and he had some chips. He's like, you want a chip? You want some chips or whatever? I was like, oh sure. Because they just look like normal, original, regular potato chips, right? Because they're just like that normal color. But nope, they were sea salt and vinegar. And I almost threw up. I hated it that much. I don't know, Therion song out of nowhere just caught me off guard. That's all. It was out of nowhere. No, I hated it. I didn't eat it. Had to spit that shit out. It was gross. I've done the second one. Or, the third one, actually.
Stand aside in the name of Tiber, Septim, and the Blades.
I'm just trying to see what that shield or whatever was that you dropped. What is that? Oh, there's the shield. Oh, it's not that good. Okay. Like I saw the notification on my phone that you had sent me something and you said it's a good song. I assumed it was another video game song because like the last one you had sent, and a decent amount of the ones that you've sent me have all been video game related. So I just thought that's what it was going to be. Not that that's bad. I love video game music. In fact, what I've been listening to while working out for the last few weeks has been video game music. Particularly, Descendants of Erdrick, who I'm actually friends with. But I just kind of thought it was going to be that, and then I'm like, oh, there's Therion. Okay. Yeah, they're an incredible live experience. I don't think this guy technically sees me, which is interesting. Yeah. But someone does see me, which is why I'm still in combat. That was awfully brave of me to go through a door without saving. Alright, we wait. Okay, spoiler alert, but I can't resist. You know the Daggerfall cover art? That like skeleton dude and stuff? That's the Underking. The Underking that we just heard about here. Indeed. Why headphones? I don't really wear headphones. I have in-ear monitors, but I don't want to wear them all the time. I prefer speakers. I like a nice set of speakers more than headphones. All right. This game annoys me. Why am I stuck in combat again? That stupid enemy earlier is still technically chasing me, even though he's not doing dick. He's doing fuck all. Warden Kostov. Because I'm done. I'm done. Did he actually die? I was gonna console kill him. I was like, I don't have the energy to deal with him. He's gonna knock me over. I don't have it in me. I really hate that mechanic. Funny thing is, I didn't even do that next attack. It was queued up from before I fell down. It's so weird. I'm not... See, I can't repair items, I can't wait, I can't do anything because the game thinks I'm in combat. This guy coming after me? How dare they what? There are no enemies nearby. You're being stupid, game. Well, how can you not believe in it? Like, I mean, I've seen it in person. I know it's real. Oh, it put me out of yeah, we autosaved. It put me out of combat. Nice. Finally. Yeah, like, I mean, pineapple and pizza's real. Of course I believe in it. I've seen it with my own eyes. It's on menus and stuff. Oh. You know, I'm gonna pass on that because I don't like pineapple. I don't mind the flavor of pineapple so much in, like, a drink or something, but I don't want to eat pineapple. That shield is worth a lot. Wow. All of them have been destroyed. Their freed spirits have gone to the shrine of Tiber Septim to try and dispel the enchantment. Why can't I talk? Their freed spirits have gone to the shrine of Tiber Septim to try to dispel the enchantment laid upon it by the Underking long ago. I should go to the shrine at once to see if they succeed in their final quest. Now, I wanted to do that before I checked the shield to see... Okay, it's not as good as what I have. Reflects damage versus reflect spell. The constant effect on it's a little bit better, in my opinion. Actually, I don't know how... I don't know what reflect damage means, so I'm not sure. You pointing at that guy? Why? I don't know what reflect damage means, because magical damage is still damage. If I were programming this and I had an effect called reflect damage, that would include magical damage. But I've played games long enough that I know that that may mean only physical. I'm not sure. Like if it were me, I would have 3 effects. I would have reflect damage, reflect magic damage, and reflect physical damage. Reflect damage would cover all. Yeah, I mean, like fire damage is magical damage. It wants me to go this way? It's pointing me to the dude, isn't it? Do I have to wait on that loser? What a nerd. I'm gonna go get another drink. Look at that nerd. He's so slow. Does he walk faster than me or not? Seem to walk about the same. No, I walk faster than him. I mean, I'm gonna rub up on his ass, grab his cheek. Let me get them cheeks. I don't know the answer to that, Tusk. You should ask. I know it has been a while. Almost a month. And the last time was just a very brief thing during Final Fantasy 15. I found the Shrine of Tiber Septim. Its entrance is blocked by some kind of enchantment. I will have to find some way to dispel the enchantment in order to reach the armor inside the shrine. I know that. Where's the 4th one? Are we still waiting on him? There. God, they're so slow. Why would you do this, Bethesda? Why not just warp them? The ghosts of the 4 cursed blades have dispelled the evil enchantment on the shrine of Tiber Septim. The way to the armor is now open. Armor of Tiber Septim. It's not very good. I have the armor. I can now take it to Martin. Can I repair it? Cool. Let's see what it looks like. It's like ebony. It's a little... It's not quite. I'm saying it's similar. I don't think ebony has that... Is it Akatosh? I don't know what that logo is. Or is that Tiber Septim? Talos? I have no idea. I don't know my lore that well, apparently. Yeah, I don't have an answer to that, Tusk. Like I said, it's been a while. You can always ask if you want. I mean, you got Twitter and stuff. But I don't know. I just assume, I mean, I don't know. Assume stuff's probably happening. I don't know if it's good or bad, or... I have no idea. Don't make me fight then. Also, why is the Adoring Fan here? Was he unable to follow me inside? Because he didn't go inside at all, did he? So that's kind of weird. Where are you going, buddy? He's fleeing. What a nerd. What a nerd. Frostcrag is looking nice. Frostcrag spire looking mighty thick on the horizon. Oh, baby. Look at that. Look at that phallic-shaped thing. Just makes me want to sit right on top of it. What? So I was reading, I remembered this incorrectly when I went to the arena and watched those people fist fighting and it leveled up my hand-to-hand. That was cool, right? You could do this to level up your blade and block, but apparently both of them have to be below 90 for it to work, which I think is dumb. So I'm gonna console command myself some levels at some point to make up for that. But it says it takes significantly longer than the hand-to-hand people at the arena.
Sir. Sir.
Whoa, that looked crazy. So yeah, unless some mod has changed it, I don't think I'll be able to get the bonus here.
Sir.
I mean, I don't know what I'm doing with the Switch. Unless we're talking about network switches. I know all about network switches. He's done more stuff here. The Doors of Oblivion. Oh, this is a long boy. It's a big boy. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that either. The Doors of Oblivion by Seraphish Hijja. When thou entereth into oblivion, when thou entereth, not the, it's ST. When thou enterest into oblivion, oblivion entereth into thee. Nigh Tylenol. The greatest mage who ever lived was my master Morian Zenus. You have heard of him as the author of the book on Oblivion, the standard text for all on matters Daedric. Despite many entreaties over the years, he refused to update his classic book with his new discoveries and theories because he found that the more one delves into these realms, the less certain one is. He did not want conjecture, he wanted facts. For decades before and after the publication of On Oblivion, Zenus compiled a vast personal library on the subject of Oblivion, the home of the Daedra. He divided his time between this research and personal magical growth on the assumption that should he succeed in finding a way into the dangerous world beyond and behind ours, he would need much power to wander its dark paths. 12 years before Zenus began the journey he had prepared his life to make, he hired me as his assistant. I possessed the 3 attributes he required for the position. I was young and eager to help without question. I could read any book once and memorize its contents, and despite my youth, I was already a master of conjuration. Zenus too was a master of conjuration, indeed a master at all the known and unknown schools. But he did not want to rely on his ability alone in the most perilous of his research. In an underground vault, he summoned Daedra to interview them on their native land, and for that he needed another conjurer to make certain they came, were bound, and were sent away again without incident. I will never forget that vault, nor for its look, which was plain and unadorned, but for what you couldn't see. There were scents that lingered long after the summoned creatures had left flowers and sulfur, sex and decay, power and madness. They haunt me still to this very day. Conjuration, for the layman unacquainted with its workings, connects the caster's mind with that of the summoned. It is a tenuous link meant only to lure, hold, and dismiss, but in the hands of a master it can be much stronger. The Psijics and Dwemer can, in the Dwemer's case perhaps I should say could, connect with the minds of others and converse miles apart, a skill that is sometimes called telepathy. Over the course of my employment, Zenus and I developed such a link between one another. It was accidental, a result of 2 powerful conjurers working closely together, but we decided that it would be invaluable should he succeed in traveling to Oblivion. Since the denizens of that land could be touched even by the skills of an amateur conjurer, it was possible we could continue to communicate while he was there, so I could record his discoveries. The doors to Oblivion, to use Morian Zenus' phrase, are not easily found, and we exhausted many possibilities before we found one where we held the key. The Psijics of Artaeum have a place they call the Dreaming Cave, where it is said one can enter into the Daedric realms and return. Iakasis, Sothasil, Nemetig, and many others have been recorded as using this means, but despite many entreaties to the order, we were denied its use. Celerus, the leader of the order, has told us it has been sealed off for the safety of all. We had hopes of using the ruins of the Battle Spire to access Oblivion. The Weirgate still stands, though the old proving grounds of the Imperial Battle Mages itself was shattered some years ago in Jagartharn's time. Sadly, after an exhaustive search through the detritus, we had to conclude that when it was destroyed, all access to the realms beyond the Soul Cairn, the Shade Perilous, and the Havoc Wellhead had been broken. It was probably for the good, but it frustrated our goal. The reader may have heard of other doors, and he may be assured we have attempted to find them all. Some are pure legend, or at any rate not traceable based on the information left behind. There are references in lore to Maruk's Abyss, the Corrington Mirror, the Mantle and Crux, the Crossroads, the Mouth, a riddle of an alchemical formula called Jacinth and Rising Sun, and many other places and objects that are said to be doors, but we could not find. Some exist but cannot be entered safely. The whirlpool in the Abyssian, called the Maelstrom of Baal, can make ships disappear and may be a portal into Oblivion. But the trauma of riding its waters would surely slay any who tried. Likewise, we did not consider it worth the risk to leap from the Pillar of Thras, a 1,000-foot-tall spiral of coral, though we witnessed the sacrifices the Slodes made there. Some victims were killed by the fall, but some indeed seemed to vanish before being dashed on the rocks. Since the Slode did not seem certain why some were taken and some died, we did not favor the odds of the plunge. The simplest and most maddeningly complex way to go to Oblivion was simply to cease to be here and begin to be there. Throughout history, there are examples of mages who seem to travel to the realms beyond ours seemingly at will. Many of these voyagers are long dead, if they ever existed, but we were able to find one still living. In a tower of Zafirbel Bay on the island of Vardenfell in the province of Morrowind, there exists a very old, very reclusive wizard named Devaith Fear. He was not easy to reach, and he was reluctant to share with Morian Zenas the secret door to Oblivion. Fortunately, my master's knowledge of lore impressed Fear, and he taught him the way. I would be breaking my promise to Zenas and Fear to explain the procedure here, and I would not divulge it even if I could. If there is dangerous knowledge to be had, that is it. But I do not reveal too much to say that Fear's scheme relied on exploiting a series of portals to various realms created by a Telvanni wizard long missing and presumed dead. Against the disadvantage of this limited number of access points, we weighed the relative reliability and security of passage and considered ourselves fortunate in our informant. Morian Zenas then left this world to begin his exploration. I stayed at the library to transcribe his information and help him with any research he needed. "Dust," he whispered to me on the first day of his voyage. Despite the inherent dreariness of the word, I could hear his excitement in his voice, echoing in my mind. "I can see from one end of the world to the other in a million shades of gray. There is no sky or ground or air, only particles, floating, falling, whirling about me. I must levitate and breathe by magical means." Zenas explored the nebulous land for some time, encountering vaporous creatures and palaces of smoke. Though he never met the prince, we concluded that he was in Ashpit, said to be the home of Malakath, where anguish, betrayal, and broken promises like ash filled the bitter air. "The sky is on fire," I heard him say as he moved on to the next realm. "The ground is sludge but traversable. I see blackened ruins all around me, like a war was fought here in the distant past. The air is freezing. I cast blooms of warmth all around me, but it still feels like daggers of ice stabbing me in all directions." This was Cold Harbor, where Molag Bal was prince. It appeared to Zenas as if it were a future Nirn under the King of Rape, desolate and barren, filled with suffering. I could hear Morian Zenas weep at the images he saw and shiver at the sight of the Imperial Palace, spattered with blood and excrement. "Too much beauty," Zenas gasped when he went to the next realm. "I'm half blind. I see flowers and waterfalls, majestic trees, a city of silver, but it is all a blur. The colors run like water. It's raining now, and the wind smells like perfume. This surely is Moonshadow, where Azura dwells." Zenas was right, and astonishingly, he even had audience with the Queen of Dusk and Dawn in her Rose Palace. She listened to his tale with a smile and told him of the coming of the Nerevarine. My master found Moonshadow so lovely, he wished to stay there, half blind forever, but he knew he must move on and complete his journey of discovery. "I'm in a storm," he told me as he entered the next realm. He described the landscape of dark, twisted trees, howling spirits, and billowing mist, and I thought he might have entered the deadlands of Mehrunes Dagon. But then he said quickly, "No, I'm no longer in a forest." There was a flash of lightning, and now I'm on a ship. Oh no, let's continue. Hang on. "No, I'm no longer in a forest. There was a flash of lightning, and now I'm on a ship. The mast is tattered. The crew is slaughtered. Something is coming through the waves. Oh gods, wait. Now I'm in a dank dungeon, in a cell." He was not in the Deadlands, but Quagmire, the nightmare realm of Vermina. Every few minutes there was a flash of lightning and reality shifted, always to something more horrible and horrifying. A dark castle one moment, a den of ravening beasts the next. A moonlit swamp, a coffin where he was buried alive. Fear got the better of my master, and he quickly passed to the next realm. I heard him laugh. I feel like I'm home now. Mori and Zenas described to me an endless library, shelves stretching on in every direction, stacks on top of stacks. Pages floated on a mystical wind that he could not feel. Every book had a black cover with no title. He could see no one, but felt the presence of ghosts moving through the stacks, rifling through the books, ever searching. It was Apocrypha, the home of Hermaeus Mora, where all forbidden knowledge can be found. I felt a shudder in my mind, but I could not tell if it was my master's or mine. Mori and Zenas never traveled to another realm that I know of. Throughout his visits to the first 4 realms, my master spoke to me constantly. Upon entering the Apocrypha, he became quieter, as he was lured into the world of research and study, the passions that had controlled his heart while on Nirn. I would frantically try to call to him, but he closed his mind to me. Then he would whisper, "This cannot be. No one would ever guess the truth. I must learn more. I see the world. A last illusion's shimmer. It is crumbling all around us." I would cry back to him, begging him to tell me what was happening, what he was seeing, what he was learning. I even tried using conjuration to summon him as if he were a Daedra himself, but he refused to leave. Mori and Zenas was lost. I last received a whisper from him 6 months ago. Before then, it had been 5 years, and 3 before that. His thoughts are no longer intelligible in any language. Perhaps he is still an Apocrypha, lost but happy, in a trap he refuses to escape. Perhaps he slipped between the stacks and passed into the madhouse of Sheol Gorath, losing his sanity forever. I would save him if I could. I would silence his whispers if I could. All right, just a moment. I gotta catch up on something in chat. Tuss said a bunch of stuff. You ever find out what's going on with the cars and stuff, Tuss? Also, I got you with the amiibo thing. I got you. The firmament. Yeah, I was like, that's pretty standard. Ooh, light armor leveled up. The baby's name was Mankar. Yeah, Cameron. I was going to say Mankar, and then there's Cameron Usurper. We might have to read that. A study of Daedra worship. I think I read this. Mysterium Xarxes, we know about that. The Warp in the West, we read. The Refugees could be cool. There's a lot of dialogue, so it might go a little quicker. But it seems to be about Mankar Cameron, so let's read it. The Refugees by Jaros Albre. The smell of the bay oozed through the stones of the cellar. Salt and briny decay. The cellar itself had its own sense of old wine turned to vinegar, mildew, and the more exotic spices of herbs the healers had brought with them to tend to the wounded. There were more than 50 people squeezed into the big earthen room which had once been forgotten storage for the brothel above. The groaning and whimpering had ceased for now, and all was still, as if the hospital had turned into a mass grave. "Mother?" a Redguard boy whispered. "What was that?" The boy's mother was about to answer him when there was another rolling roar from outside, which grew louder and louder, as if some great but incorporeal beast had come into the cellar. The walls trembled and dust burst from the ceiling in a rain of powder. Unlike the last time, no one screamed. They waited until the weird, haunting sound had passed, and then was replaced by the soft rumble of the distant battle. A wounded soldier began whispering Mara's prayer for the doomed. Mankar, a Bosmer woman curled up in a cot, hissed, her eyes feverish, flesh white and wet with sweat. He is coming. Who is coming? Asked the boy, grasping his mother's skirt tight. Who do you think, lad? The sweetsmonger? A grizzled, once-armed Redguard growled. The Cameron usurper. The boy's mother shot an angry look at the old warrior. She doesn't know what she's saying. She's sick. The boy nodded, and his mother was usually right. He had not yet even been born when people began whispering that the Cameron usurper was coming towards her little village, and she had packed up their belongings to flee. Their neighbors had laughed at her, she said, saying that Rihad and Taneth would handily defeat him. Her husband, Lukar's father, who he was never to meet, had also laughed at her. It was the harvest time, and she would miss out on the celebrations. But his mother, Miyaki, was right. 2 weeks after she fled the village, she heard the tale that it had been obliterated during the night with no survivors. Rihad and Taneth had both fallen. The usurper was unstoppable. Lukar had been born and grown up in refugee camps throughout Hammerfell. He had never known a friend for more than a few days. He knew that when the sky burned red to the west, they would pack up and move east. When it burned to the south, they moved north. At last, after 12 years of moving from camp to camp, they had taken passage across the Iliac Bay to the province of High Rock, in the barony of Dwenin. There Miyaki had promised and hoped that they would have a peaceful, permanent home. It was so green there it blinded him, unlike Hammerfell, which was only green in certain seasons and in certain places. Dwenin was verdant year-round. Until wintertide, when it began to snow and Lukar had been frightened of it at first. He was ashamed to think of it now, but there was real danger. He was ashamed to think of it now when there was real danger. But the red clouds of war, the stink and pain of the refugee camp, that was familiar. Now the red sky was... I want to do that one more time because I said that weird. He was ashamed to think of it now when there was real danger, but the red clouds of war, the stink and pain of the refugee camp, that was familiar. Now the red sky was on the horizon of the bay and coming closer, and he longed for the days when a scattering of white made him cry. Mankar, the Bosmer woman cried out again. He is coming, and he will bring death. No one is coming, said a pretty young Breton healer, coming to the woman's side. Hush now. Hello? Came a voice from above. The whole room, almost together as one, gasped. A Bosmer limped down the shoddy wooden stairs, his friendly face very obviously not that of the Cameron usurper. Sorry if I frightened you, he said. I was told there were healers here, and I could use a little help. Rosena hurried to take a look at the Bosmer's wounds on his leg and chest. Disheveled but still beautiful, she was one of the favorites at the brothel who had learned her healing skill along with her more vocational skills at the House of Dibella. She carefully but quickly pulled the rent leather cuirass, chausses, tassets, greaves, and boots off of him and placed them to the side while she examined the injuries. The old Redguard warrior picked them up and studied them. You were in the war? Next to it is probably a better way to put it, the Bosmer smiled, wincing slightly at Rosena's touch. Behind it, beside it, in front of it. My name's Orban Elmlock. I'm a scout. I try to avoid the real battle, so I can get back and report what I see. A good job for people who don't like the color of their own blood very much. Zim, said the warrior, shaking Orban's hand. Well, I can't fight any more, but I can fix up this armor if you're going to return. You're a leathersmith? Nah, just a jack of all trades, replied Hazim, opening up a small canister of wax to prep the hard but flexible leather. I could tell you were a scout from the armor, though. Can you tell us what you've been spying on? We've been down in here for half a day now with no word from the outside. The entire Iliac Bay is one great battlefield on the waves, said Orban, and sighed as Rosena's spell began to close his jagged but shallow wounds. We've shut off from the invasion from the mouth of the bay, but I was coming from the coast, and the enemy's army is marching over the Rothgarian mountains. That's where I had my little scuffle. It's not too surprising moving the flank in from the side while the front battle is occupied. It's a play right out of Cameron Kaltos' book of tricks, The Heart King Borrowed. The Heart King? Lucar asked. He had been listening quietly, understanding everything except that. Haemon Cameron, the Cameron usurper. Haemon Heart King. They're all the same, lad. He's a complicated fellow, and needs more than one name. You know him? Miyaki asked, stepping forward. Near on 20 years before this whole black bloody business. I was Cameron Kaltos' chief scout, and Haemon was his sorcerer and advisor. I helped them both when they were vying for the Cameron throne and began the conquest of... Ouch! Rosena had ceased her healing. With eyes of fury, she had reversed her spell, and the closed, mended wounds were opening again, dark infections returning. She held him with surprising strength when Orban tried to pull back. You bastard! The healer Curtison hissed. I have a cousin in Falanesti, a priestess. She's fine, Orban yelped. Lord Kaltos was very adamant about not harming anyone who did not pose a threat. I think the people of Kvatch would disagree with that assessment, said Hazim coldly. That was horrible, the worst thing I've ever seen, Orban nodded. Kaltos wept when he saw what Haemon had done. My master did everything he could to stop it, begging the Heart King to return to Valenwood. But he turned on Kaltos, and we fled. We are not your enemy, and we have never been. Kaltos could do nothing but prevent the horror that the usurper has brought to the Colovian West and Hammerfell. And he has fought for 15 years to prevent more. The frightening bestial roar passed through the cellar again, even louder than before. The wounded could not help groaning in helpless terror. And what is that? Miyaki sneered. Another of Cameron Kaltos' tricks that the usurper picked up? It is indeed a trick, as a matter of fact, Orban yelled above the screech. It's a phantasm he employs to scare people. He had to use fear tactics in the beginning when his power was ascending, and he has to fall back on them now for his power is waning. That is why it took him 2 years to conquer Valenwood and another 13 to half-conquer Hammerfell. No offense to you, Red Guards, but it isn't only your battle prowess that has been holding him back. He does not have the support that he used to have from his master. The echoing roar increased in intensity before once again falling silent. Menkar, the Bosmer woman groaned. He comes and he will destroy all. His master? Asked Lucar, but Orban's eyes had gone to the Bosmer woman, curled up in her blood-soaked cot. Who is she? Orban asked Rosena. One of the refugees, of course, from your friendly little war in Valenwood before you and your Kaltos changed sides, the healer replied. I think her name is Kalis. By Geoffrey, Orban whispered under his breath, limping over to the woman's cot and wiping the sweat and blood-streaked hair from her pallid face. Kalis, it's Orban. Do you remember me? How did you get here? Did he hurt you? Menkar, Kalis moaned. That's all she says, said Rosena. I don't know what that it is. Orban frowned. Not the usurper, though she knew him too. Very well, she was a favorite of his. His favorites, you, Kaltos, her, all seem to turn against him, said Miyaki. That is why he will fall, replied Hazim. Armored footfall rang along the ceiling, and the cellar door burst open. It was the captain of Baron Othrock's castle guards. The docks are on fire. If you want to live, you'll need to take refuge at Castle Whitemore. We need help, Rosena called back, but she knew that the guards were needed for defense, not to help carry the sick to safety. With 10 guards, who could be spared, and the most able-bodied of the wounded assisting, the cellar was emptied as the streets of Dwynnon filled with smoke, and fire began to spread through the chaos. It had been a single fireball miscast out at sea striking the docks, but the damage would be tremendous. Some hours later in the courtyard of the mighty castle, the healers were able to set up the cots and begin to tend once again to the suffering of the innocent. The first person Rosena found was Orban Elmlock. Even with his wounds reopened, he had helped carry 2 of the patients into the castle. I'm sorry, she said as she pressed her healing hands onto his wounds. I lost my temper. I forgot that I'm a healer. Where is Kalis? Orban asked. She's not here, Rosena said, looking around. She must have run away. run away, but wasn't she injured? It was not a healthy situation, but new mothers can surprise you with what they can do when it's all over. She was pregnant, Orban gasped. Yes, it wasn't such a difficult birth in the end. She was holding the boy in her arms when I saw her last. She said she had done it herself. She was pregnant, Orban murmured again. The mistress of the Cameron usurper was pregnant. Word quickly spread throughout the castle that the battle was over, and more than that, the war was over. Haemon Cameron's forces had been defeated at sea, and in the mountains the Heart King was dead. Lucar watched down from the battlements into the dark woods that surrounded Dwynnon. He had heard about Kalis, and he imagined a desperate woman fleeing with her newborn baby in her arms into the wilderness. Kalis would have nowhere to go, no one to protect them. She and her baby would be a refugee like Miyaki and him had been. Reflecting back, he remembered her words. He is coming, and he will bring death. He will destroy all. Lucar remembered her eyes. She was sick, but not afraid. Who was this he who was coming if the Cameron usurper was dead? Did she say nothing else? Asked Orban. She told me the baby's name, Rosanna replied. Mankar. As in Mankar Cameron. Wow, okay. That's cool. Alright, what's up, Martin?
My progress on the Mysterium Xerxes is slow, I'm afraid. How goes your search for the armor of Tiber Septim? The Septim blood may flow through my veins, but you have the soul of a hero. The armor of Tiber Septim himself. Joffrey will be amazed to see it. You can reassure Joffrey that I will not destroy the armor. All I need is a scraping of Talos's divine blood. The blades are as touchy as priests about relics of Tiber Septim, it seems.
What else can I do to help?
While you were gone, I've made some progress in deciphering the Mysterium Xerxes ritual. The third item we need is a great Welkin stone. You may have run across lesser Welkin stones. They are fairly common in Ayleid ruins, but a great Welkin stone will not...
Ombranox, or whatever his name is.
They have been plundered one by one over the years, due to their great value to mages and occultists. There is only one place that is rumored to still contain one. The ruins of the Ayleid city of Miscarcand. A place where many have perished seeking its great stone. But nothing else will do, so you must succeed where all others have failed.
Tell me about Miscarcand.
The capital of one of the ancient Ayleid kingdoms which flourished in Cyrodiil before the rise of men. It is said that the ruins are still haunted by the vengeful spirit of its last king. True or not, it is not a place to enter lightly. Be careful.
Miscarcand?
Miscarcand is one of the most extensive Ayleid ruins in Cyrodiil. It was the capital of one of the ancient Ayleid kingdoms. You might find Glories and Laments among the Ayleid ruins useful. I have the library's copy at my table if you need it.
And Great Welkenstone.
The pinnacle of Ayleid magic. Once, every Ayleid city had its great stone, but they've all been plundered over the centuries. All but one. The great stone of Miscarcand is reputed still to shine in the deep darkness of its ruined halls. But no one has ever done more than glimpse it from a distance. It is said to be guarded by the ghost of the last king of Miscarcand.
What if I just chameleon my way to it?
Be careful.
What if I really don't want to fight ghosts?
I know you've braved many dangers already.
Glories and Laments among the Ayleid ruins by Alexander Hatrard. Having arrived at Gothel's Front Priory halfway on the Gold Road between Skingrad and the Imperial City, I resolved to make a side trip to view the magnificent ruins of Caotatar, or Shadow of the Fatherwoods, in the ancient Ayleid tongue. After many hours of difficult travel through tangled hawthorn hells and Limberlosts, I was suddenly struck dumb by the aspect of 5 pure white columns rising from a jade-green mound of vines to perfect V-shaped arches and graceful capitals towering above the verdant forest growth. This spectacle caused me to meditate on the lost glories of the past and the melancholy fate of high civilizations now poking like splinter shards of bone from the green-grown tumultus of time-swept obscurity. Within the forest tangle, I discovered an entrance leading down into the central dome of a great underground edifice once dedicated to Magnus, the god of sight, light, and insight. Dimly lit by the faded power of its magical pools, the shattered white walls of the enclosure shimmered with a cold blue light. The marble benches of the central plaza faced out across the surrounding waters to tall columns and sharp arches supporting the high dome. From the central island, stately bridges spanned the still pools to narrow walkways behind the columns, with broad vaulted avenues and limpid canals leading away through ever-deepening gloom into darkness. Reflected in the pools were the tumbled columns, collapsed walls, and riotous root and vine growth thriving the dark half-light of the magical fountains. The ancient Aliens recognized not the four elements of modern natural philosophy, earth, water, air, and fire, but the four elements of high elf religion, earth, water, air, and light. The Aliens considered fire to be but a weak and corrupt form of light, which Alien philosophers identified with primary magical principles. Thus, their ancient subterranean temples and sanctuaries were lit by lamps, globes, pools, and fountains of purest magic. It was by these ancient, faded, but still active magics that I knelt and contemplated the departed glories of the long-dead Alien architects. Gazing through the glass-smooth reflections of the surrounding pools, I could see deep below the slow pulse, the waxing and waning of the welkined stones. The chiefest perils of these ruins to the explorer are the cunning and deadly mechanisms devised by the Aliens to torment and confound those who would invade their underground sanctuaries. What irony that after these many years, these devices should still stand vigilant against those who would admire the works of the Aliens. For it is clear, these devices were crafted in vain. They did not secure the Aliens against their true enemies, which were not the slaves who revolted and overthrew their cruel masters, nor were they the savage beast peoples who learned the crafts of war and magic from their alien masters. No, it was the arrogant pride of their achievements, their smug self-assurance that their empire would last forever, that doomed them to fail and fade into obscurity. Cool.
Is not to be taken lightly.
Yes?
Take that those alchemy ingredients off the table there. Those are mine. That book, I don't think, really gave us any useful information about where we're going. Do we just know where this place is at? I guess we do. We'll go Meridia Shrine. Cool. It is 20:57 local time. It's been about 2 hours and 33 minutes of stream. Thinking I may do this dungeon and then call it after that rather than going too much longer. Simply because I need to go to the office tomorrow and I want to beat traffic. I don't think I'm going to get up and work out because that's going to take too long. I need to be there before 9 o'clock. But the best thing for me to do is really to leave like 7 or slightly before 7 and get there closer to 8. Because that avoids the worst of the traffic. Don't see me. Westweald Brown Bear Deer Hunter. I don't know what that is. I don't like that I attacked it because it has a unique name. I'm gonna chameleon my way out of this. Bitch, why are you attacking me? I'm chameleon. You're not supposed to know about me. Bullshit. What is this? Come on. Bitterfish Goblin Squeamisher. Is that Goblin and Bear? No! Fuck. Fuck me in the asshole. Full goatsy. Just full goatsy me right now. That's how I feel every time this game crashes. That's the real reason I can now blur my webcam. Because if I blur my webcam and then goatsy myself, you won't actually be able to see what I'm doing. Oh, that didn't work out the way I hoped. Hang on, let me try that again. Alright, I need to adjust that a little bit. Because it did some weirdness there. It's good to know. I want the blur to be more consistent. So that one is pretty good. That one's not because the camera disappears. So I need to adjust my timings. Yeah, there's a lot of bears out here. Oh no, those are sheep. I'm stupid. Oh, they all look the same. Bears, sheep, what's the difference? Am I right? Of course I'm right. I'm Shoggoth. Always right. You have found Miscarcand. So last time, I think a bear and a goblin were about to throw hands. But I don't think that's going to happen this time. We saw a dead goblin outside last time. So this place may actually be overran by goblins, not by dudes. Yep, that looks like a goblin over there to me. Behind the webcam, but... I've entered the ruins of Miscarcand. Now I must find its great welkin stone. What game? Didn't you want to spoil that it's overrun with goblins? No? I got an idea though. Chameleon. I have my weapon out, but I straight up can't see it. I can't see it distorting the fan or anything. The adoring fan. So hard to tell when you're chameleoning. Alright, so there's Zoombinis in here, there's skeletons, there's goblins. This place is a hodgepodge. Oh, looks like there's been some conflict in here. I like that. Huh, what a nerd. Bitterfish Goblin. So Bitterfish is the name of the goblin tribe, and I think I mentioned before, it's been a long time, because I've been playing this game for a long time. that the way the goblins work is they all have tribes. And what I do remember is that each goblin tribe has a totem. And I remember reading about this, I think in the strategy guide of all things. And it painted this scenario. Like it said that goblins want their totem. And if their totem is removed from their their dwelling place, then they will seek out their totem. And they will seek out their totem no matter how far they have to go to find it, because they really want their totem. So, oh, this is cool. It's really cool. So they'll seek out their totem no matter how far they have to go to find it. And one of the things that it kind of the scenario it painted was that you could steal their totem and then put it in a city, and then goblins would then seek out their totem by going into the city, and thus basically would be attacking a city, right? And all the guards and everybody would be going crazy and freaking out because goblins are attacking. So you could like make some cool scenarios happen like that. Another thing it said was try getting totems for multiple tribes and bringing them all to the same place. Where'd he go? Okay then. Wait, maybe it's because I'm looking for the detect life effect. Yeah, he's right there. I'm stupid. So yeah, you could put them all in the same place, and then all the goblins would be seeking out their totems, and they would collide with each other, and it'd be really cool. In practice, I don't think I ever got that to work, and I'm not sure why. I know I wanted to do it, and I tried it a bunch of times. One of the ideas was to go through and get the totem without being detected. Because you don't have to wait on enemies to respawn. But now that I know, like, it's just like 3 days and enemies respawn. That's not difficult. Yeah, I don't see how waiting 3 days for enemies to respawn is a big deal. Get one totem, get the other, go to the middle of a town, wait 3 days. I don't know. Seems easy enough. Why are you guys not fighting? There we go. I wanted to make them fight each other because it's fun. Yo, why is that skeleton so strong? What? That's gross. Why are they so strong? I was hoping for an actual interesting fight between enemies. We got a Varla stone, but that's not a Great Welkin stone. Right, so we gotta keep searching. Snuck attack. I was watching my timer. I was trying to kill as many things as I could before it ran out. Who's gonna win this one? Probably the skeleton, yeah. I have no idea where I'm at this point. I just know I dropped down because I mean, I realized it before I went down that, like, oh, those aren't stairs, but I was like, ah, we're committed now. We're doing this. See, this is more like it. Chameleon everything and just one-shot them. This is way more fun. I tried to find a mod that made the combat more like Morrowind, but when you search around online and you use the kind of terms that you would use to attempt to find that, everything is people wanting Morrowind's combat to be more like Oblivion's, not the other way around. And again, I have to preface, because it does, like, I do kind of bitch a lot about this game. I do like this game. I really do. I bitch about it kind of lovingly. But I mean, I'm also serious about the things I bitch about. Like, they are things that bother me. There's a reason it's not my favorite Elder Scrolls game. There's a reason it's not my second. There's a reason it's only my third favorite. Don't need that. I really need to get around to leveling up security at some point. I keep saying I'm going to... because I'll need to drop the skeleton key and then max out security and then get the skeleton key back. I'm gonna guess this is it. I have found the Great Welcome Stone, now to bring it to Martin at Cloud Ruler Temple. Why am I spotted? I have Chameleon. Don't be dumb, game. King of Miscarcand. What a nerd. Miscarcand key. Alright, but I see things charging, but what if I Chameleon now? Yeah, it'd be really nice to have max security without the skeleton key as a way to be able to pick more efficiently. I'd fail a lot less. At that point, I'd probably very rarely fail because I'd effectively have 150. Damn, I was afraid of that. I'm right on the money. Well, Chameleon takes 0. Oh. Well, shit. Now we got a lot of these, health potions. Do I have, like, weak ones? Weak potion of strength. That'll do the trick. Kill. Kill, 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 kill. All within my hands. You know the reference, you know. That should have been 30 potions. I think so. I had a weird way of counting that internally. Purpose of that being that for some reason mods have made it where those potions now weigh 0, and I'm okay with that. Because that just freed up 3 pounds of weight. 3 units of weight. Oh, within my hands. Da-da-da. I don't remember all the lyrics, but the kill, 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 kill. That was a reference. I had one of my teachers in school. We'd always sit there and we'd jam music in class. It was an art class. It was ceramics. So, it's fine. You're doing stuff. He didn't care if we listened to music or whatever. And, ooh, I do want that one. We'd always be jamming and, like heavy metal and stuff. And he wasn't a fan of the music, so he would clown on it. He'd make jokes and stuff. He'd be like, I can hear them. I can hear that from over here. Kill, 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 kill. And he was joking around, but that song I just referenced, All Within My Hands, actually does start just saying kill, 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 kill at the end of the song. And we had some fun playing that one day just to troll him, just to mess with him. From everybody's favorite Metallica album, Saint Anger. Oh. Ich bin müde. Yeah, we're about 2 hours 42. Didn't spend a whole lot of time in there. It's only been about... Wait, that doesn't feel right. Because it was 2 hours 33 when I got to the shrine, wasn't it? That's telling me it's only been 9 minutes? Or did I misread 23 as 33 earlier? That had to be more than 9 minutes. It felt like it. We're in a meeting? What's going on?
What do you need, friend? With all due respect, Sire,
Bro.
there must be another way. The risk is too great.
I know the risk. I was at Kavach. But there is no other way. We have no choice.
The Countess will never agree to it.
She will. She must.
What do you need,
Very
friend?
well. The blades are, as always, at your disposal.
They're debating something. Let's talk to Martin.
You're back. And you've got the Great Stone.
I said I'd get it.
You did. I can count on you.
Give him the stone.
I never thought to see a great Welkin stone.
I didn't have a choice. Why did you make me click it?
Beautiful, as all the old tales tell. But of course its beauty is a mask for its deadly power, like everything crafted by the Aliens. Now, we need only one more item, and we'll be ready to open a portal to Manka Cameron's realm.
What is the last item we need? A severed penis.
I should have seen it sooner. It's the counterpart to the Great Welkin Stone, just as the first two were the opposed powers of the Daedra and the Divines. Welkin stones contain the concentrated power of Mundus. Their counterparts are sigil stones, which are used to hold open Oblivion gates. A great sigil stone, then, is what we require.
So we need a great gate? Like the one that the Mythic Dawn were planning to open up at Bruma? Maybe. A sigil stone? What's the catch?
You're not going to like it. Joffrey doesn't like it. The Countess of Bruma certainly isn't going to like it. Great sigil stones are the anchors of great gates. The kind of gate the Mythic Dawn opened at Kavach. The kind of gate the Mythic Dawn wants to open here to destroy Bruma.
Just gonna get out in front of Bruma and go full goatsy. So we let them open the gate?
You weren't going to like it. The risk is great, I know. I was at Kavach. I saw the terrible power of the Daedric siege engine. But we have no choice. The only way to recover the Amulet of Kings is to allow the Mythic Dawn to proceed with their plan to attack Bruma.
At least you'll be safe here. That's a setup to be like, no, I'm not. Didn't you notice I put on armor?
No. I'll lead the defense of Bruma myself. If I am to be Emperor, it's time I started acting like one.
It's too risky. I'll lead the battle.
Remember when we first met in Kvatch? I told you that I didn't want any part of the gods' plan. I still don't know if there is a divine plan, but I've come to realize that it doesn't matter. What matters is that we act, that we do what's right when confronted with evil. That's what you did at Kvatch. It wasn't the gods that saved us, it was you. Were you acting for the gods? I don't know. But now, it's my turn to act.
As you command.
Please, my friend. I need your judgment, not your obedience. I explain myself to you so you understand me, and so you can explain to the Countess. I'm afraid she may take a bit more convincing than you.
Oh, I'll convince her, all right. I can be very persuasive. I'll inform the Countess at once.
Good. Have her meet me in the Chapel of Talos for a council of war. That seems a fitting place to make such desperate plans.
What is it?
Armor.
You have earned a place of honor in the rolls of our order for recovering the holy relic.
Promote me. Battle plans.
Martin has made his decision. The blades stand beside him.
All within my hands. Something, something. Why a severed penis, though? I don't know. Because that's just what it is. Yo, it's just sitting here. Can I take it? No. Where's the mace that I gave? I want to read Warp in the West again because that book was so fucking sick. Again, let's go to one of my favorite parts of it. Is it Miracle of Peace? Talking about paradoxical accounts of the event, because everybody's accounts conflict. I'm looking for the part about Privateer's Hold. It's the last one, isn't it? No, it's here. I thought at first it was suspiciously similar to what happened to another agent of ours in High Rock. Okay, let's go back. We had just passed the delightful riverside village of Candlemas when the captain sounded the... That should say alarm, I think, but it says alarum. I read that the other day. I knew as I read it, I said alarum. I just read what was on the page, but I didn't comment on it. There in front of us was a colossal wall of water, at least 30 feet high. It smashed our barge to splinters before any of us had a chance to react. I woke up on the shore, having been rescued by one of my servants who had miraculously not lost consciousness. He and I and one other man were the only survivors. I thought at first that it was suspiciously similar to what happened to another agent of ours in High Rock, but a short time before, where a freak storm had shipwrecked him in the Iliac Bay near Privateer's Hold. Furious and determined to see if similar forces were at work, I began a quick march to Wayrust. Privateer's Hold is the starting dungeon of Daggerfall. That's who we're talking. We're talking about the Daggerfall main character there, the player. And yeah, again, the Miracle of Peace, according to official accounts, the formerly war-racked Iliac Bay region was transformed overnight from a patchwork of squabbling duchies and petty kingdoms into the peaceful modern counties of Daggerfall, Sentinel, Wayrest, and Orsinium. The miracle of peace, also known as the Warp in the West, is celebrated as the product of the miraculous interventions of Stendar, Mara, and Akatosh to transform this troublesome region into peaceful, well-governed imperial counties. The catastrophic destruction of landscape and property and the large loss of life attending upon this miracle is understood to have been tragic and beyond mortal comprehension. It's cool stuff. All right. We have a couple things to take care of. Like, I just want to go to Anvil and like drop some stuff off and sell some stuff. Standard things. Because I am super encumbered right now, aren't I? You smell of death. Been conjuring up dead things? That's a weird thing to say to somebody, isn't it? Also, what did you do at 420, Tusk? I know it's been 5 minutes and I didn't explicitly comment on that, but I read it. What did you do at 420? Eh? Eh? What did you do? Let's check my bloodgrass real quick. 53, good. We're still good. Perfect. Time is it? 8:37 p.m. 837 pingus. I heard you know how to move in light armor. Who told you that, bro? Like, why? Where did you hear some weird info like that? Hey, you know that Shoggoth guy, the hero of Kvatch and all that? He can really move in light armor. I'm so tired I could fuck a horse right now, jeez. Yeah, I'll be calling it here before too long. I think it's probably best to call it before I do the Great Gate stuff. As interesting as that is, it's kind of cliffhangery. We could leave it off before then. Because I don't want to be tired. I mean, I'll be doing it tomorrow and I might be tired tomorrow, but it'll be early into the stream rather than late.
Always bring in good business. A good price for a fine transaction.
Alright, something's encumbering me a lot and I don't know what it is. Not the weapons. It's not my armor. It must be... I must have picked up a bunch of crap. I did get a bunch of Daedra hearts lately. That's doing a lot of that. So that's 36, that's 72. That'll bring me back down into the 300s. That covers the majority of it. We just picked up some more welcome stones. They all add up.
Remember,
So yeah.
act casual, like we haven't done anything illegal.
I never heard him say like we haven't done anything illegal. I mean, he always says that, but I never heard him say like. I didn't even hear him say like right then. So I thought he said, remember, act casual. We haven't done anything illegal. I was like, but we have. What are you talking about, step bro? Ransom, what are you talking about? 10 points if you know that reference.
Goodbye, Blackwood Company. The Fighters Guild has a new master, and Orion is back. Absolutely not. Anvil is all in an uproar. First the channel attack, now the Prophet. How are you? Fantastic. Thanks for asking.
They're really close.
All in an uproar. First the channel attack, now the Prophet.
I've heard others say the same.
I heard that some cult called the Mythic Dawn is behind the Emperor's assassination.
Oh, Shadenhall, Skingrad.
Anvil is all in an uproar.
That's why there's so many people around. Leowen, Kavach.
It can't be. Heard any news from the other provinces? It's a pleasure to see you. Greetings. What news from Cloud Ruler Temple?
Battle plans.
A desperate plan indeed. This prince? Emperor? Martin would risk my whole city to gain a great sigil stone?
We must recover the Amulet of Kings.
This is the only way to stop this invasion from Oblivion? I must confess, you are the first person to speak of victory against these Daedra. This war has seemed hopeless to me. But what else was there to do but hold on and wait for a hero to arise to save us? And now it seems there is an heir to the throne after all, hidden at Cloud Ruler Temple. And perhaps a hero as well?
Martin waits at the chapel.
You avoid answering my question. Very well. Don't think I doubt you. The rulers of Bruma have long had dealings with Cloud Ruler Temple. We know whom they serve. I will meet Martin at the chapel. When all is ready, I will order my men to stop closing the gates and prepare for battle.
Cool. What is in here? Why is there a locked up book? Is it worth reading? Messenger's Diary. It's worth $7.50. What is that? What the fuck am I looking at? Well, that's interesting.
You think the attack will come soon, sir?
Very soon.
So long.
Like tomorrow soon.
What's new with you? I understand Daedra worship has become increasingly prevalent on Somerset. First the chapel attack, now the prophet.
They keep having the exact same conversation about Anvil. Alright, this is where we're going to save. And I'm going to continue this on Morgan tomorrow. Okay, Yeah, this is good enough. Nice, quick little session today. About 3 hours. Right on the money. 3 hours and 28 seconds at this moment. Thank you to everybody who dropped in, chatting, lurking, masturbating, whatever you like to do when you watch the stream. I greatly appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and bounce a little bit early since, as I mentioned before, I need to go to the office tomorrow. And I really was aiming to be there by like 8 o'clock. And it's like an hour to get there. If I'm lucky, depending on traffic. I've never tried to get there that early yet. I'm trying to learn my commute, right? I'm trying to figure out how my commute works out. So I still don't know what the best times are, right? So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get to bed so I can, actually make it to the office in the morning and stuff. And I'll be back tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, whatever it's called, at like 17:30-ish, assuming everything goes well. And we will pick up here where we actually go and take care of this great gate, get us a great or grand sigil stone or whatever, and then we will have all 4 pieces we need to visit Miscarcand's paradise and hopefully get the Amulet of Kings. Ideally. We'll see how that goes. Assuming no hiccups, and I mean this both in terms of, me running into issues as well as just the story itself. And on the one hand, I'm like, well, I don't want to spoil things. On the other hand, I don't quite remember everything. So assuming it's as simple as getting the stone and immediately going to the paradise and there's no hiccups in between, then we should be able to definitely do both of those tomorrow, make some pretty good progress. So, progress of truth, if you know, you know. Anyway, yeah, pretty good session today. Not a whole lot of stuff, but I mean, we cleared a few things and made some progress, so can't complain. If you are new here and you like what you see, please consider hitting that follow button. I greatly appreciate it. If you are watching this on the YouTube VOD at some point in the undetermined future and you are still listening, then please hit that like button, subscribe, notification bell, leave a comment if you're so inclined. I greatly appreciate all of that good-ish. Thank you so much. And I normally stream here on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So tomorrow, the 1st of April being Friday, is another stream day, as I already said, and it'll be about 17:30 Central Time. So that's about it. Until next time, have a good day, have a good night, whatever it is, wherever you're at, take it easy.